Hello children, first of all of you welcome in standard 8, and here it is in front of you the general science textbook cover is there. If you see this, you will see that here it is so many points are there which are related to the which are there in our textbook. So it is heart, it is our human means it is present in the living organisms, and after that you see here it is the sum of the experiment activities shown. Here it is muscular use of muscular energy. Here it is mitochondria, it is present in plant body, it is plant cell organelle, it is Golgi apparatus, it is also cell organelle. After that if you see this, you will see here is a experiment is shown. This is our cover page and it shows that whatever contents are present in our textbook. After that, if you see this page, you will see there are so many animals are there. From these animals like paramotion, it is present in the water, that is the dirty water also is present. After that you see here it is seahorse, then it is mushroom, then if you see here means elephant is here, some plants are there, and here you see the coconut is falling inside the water, means it shows the different things which are present in our textbook. After that below this you will see here that if you see here, you see here it is a QR code. If you scan this QR code, you will get whatever contents are present in our textbook that we can see inside this QR code, and whole textbook also it is present in this QR code. Such a type of QR codes are present in below each and every lesson, and these QR codes help you to see the videos related to the particular lesson in a particular lesson in that QR code. After that here some of the pages are there, and then you will see here it is our index. So in this index if you see the here some list of lessons given, and here 19 lessons are there. In these 19 lessons inside, some lessons related to biology, some lessons related to chemistry, and some lessons related to physics are present. So first of all, here is your new first lesson, living world and classification of microbes. If you read the lesson name, you will understand that it is related to the biology. Here some questions given, it is the let's recalls question. So all of you just study the understand these questions and just send me the answer of these questions. Then you will see here the first point of our textbook, that is biodiversity and need of classification. If you see this, you will see here the last year we learned that all living organisms on earth have adapted according to geographical regions. So you see there are so many living organisms, like from a single cell like amoeba to the huge animal like elephant and the whale. These animals are very big. So according to the geographical condition means the places where they are living, these places, this geographical, how is the geographical region, according to that region the animals acquire their character, means there are adaptations we can see in their body. After that, food ingestion also, defense means for defense purpose they just adapted their body for the defense at per food digestion. For example, if you see the snake, then they are eating they are swallowing whole animal, but if you see our example, we are chewing the food and then we are swallowing. Okay, and geographical conditions means, suppose if you take the example of polar bear, it is covering with his body is totally covered with the hairs. And if you take the example of the camels, it is living in the desert region. You see there is a less hairs are there on their body, means why this geographic conditions are there in these animals for the adaptations. Because if you see the polar bear, it is living in the snow-bound region, so cold it is there, and so protect their body from this cold. The body is totally covered with the hairs, and so the polar bear's hairs are grown big. If you take the example of camel, the camel is living in the region where there is a too hot, so to adjust in that environment the body has less hairs, and that hairs what happens if there is a less hairs, then what body sweats, and what happens, they can adjust in that environment. So according to the situations, the geographical conditions, there is a adaptation in the body. Again, example of the, if you take the example of the plants, you just see the aloe vera. You see that if you see the aloe vera leaves, it has a thorns on their leaves, and also if you see the leaves are fleshy. Why it is fleshy? To store the water for the store water for there when there is a scarcity of water, and actually that plant is grown in the region where there is a less rainfall. So the body of the plant is, what happens, adapted such a situation. Cactus, if you take example, it also has the thorns on their leaves and the leaves are fleshy. After that, you see, to study food digestion, many differences are observed in the organism in the same species too. If you see the same species inside, if you see the example of suppose spices. Spices inside, spices means fishes. If you see fish, we are saying fish, only fish we are saying. But if you see, there are so many types of different fishes are there, from small fish to the huge whale-like fishes are there. So they are belongs to the same species, but the body, but they are different from one another. Bangda is there, then afterwards whale is there. So they are different from each other. And why it is there? According to the situation, they are adapted their body. Now, according to 2011 census, around 87 million species of living organisms are found on the earth. How much species? 87 million species of living organisms are found on the earth. And where it is living? These animals are living on land also, on sea also. To study such a vast number, it was essential to divide them into groups. Means if you started to study the 87 millions of the animal, it is very difficult. So better to study each and every organism separately. If you make the groups of these animals regarding to the similar characters, then it is easy to study the group, and if you study the group, then study of whole animal also, different animals also takes place in less interval of time. So it is better to make the groups and subgroups were created considering the similarities and the differences among the living organisms. Means we will if we study, make the groups and we will study them regarding consider as a similarities. Means some character have the similarity. For example, just we say seen the example of similar characters. Then similarities inside the, suppose egestion of food. Some animals directly swallow the food, some are chewing. Okay, so these are also these similarities. We have to find the similarities and separate them, and we will study, then it becomes easy for us. This process of dividing living organisms into groups and subgroups is called as a biological classification. So that is the definition. Just highlight it and all of you learn this definition. The process of dividing living organisms into groups and subgroups is called as a biological classification. So for the classification, here is the history of classification. Means so many scientists are there. They are started to classify the animals, and here is the history. If you see the first Carl Linnaeus in 1735 divided living world, means all living organisms, he is divided into two kingdoms. And which are those two kingdoms? That is Vegetabilia and the Animalia. Okay. After that, in 1866, Haeckel is divided these living organisms into three groups, that is Protista, plants and the animals. After, in 1925, the Chatham created two groups. These are prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. In 1938, Copeland divided living organism into four kingdoms, and these four kingdoms are Monera, Protista, plants and the animals. In this way, so many scientists, they tried to classify the animals, all living organisms. After that, in 1920 to 1980, the Robert Harding Whitaker was American ecologist. In 1969, he divided living organisms into 5 groups. Okay, and for that classification, he considered following criteria. We have to use some criteria for the classification, like similarities and differences. So which criteria he had used, that we will see here. So first criteria he used, that is the complexity of the cell structure. How is the cell of that living organism? So it is complex. How it is complex, or it is simple? According to that, he had divided the cell into two groups, that is prokaryotes and the eukaryotic. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic. After that, secondly, he used the complexity of organism. How is that organism? It is unicellular or multicellular. Unicellular animals like paramecium, amoeba, these are the unicellular animals. And multicellular animal inside we, the human being, elephant, all the animals are included inside it. So he secondly used the complexity of the organism to study the living organism or to classify the living organism. After that, he used the mode of nutrition. Okay, if you see the plants, they are producing their own food. If you consider we human being or other animal, we are totally depend on the plants or the other animal for our food. And then some fungi, means they are growing on the which dead organisms. So here he took the mode of nutrition for the classification. So first of all, plants he took that autotrophic or photosynthetic. Okay, plants, as you know, that they are preparing their own food in the sunlight. Then after that, mode of nutrition inside the fungi, that is saprophytic. Saprophytic means the animals, they are using the using the body of dead organism to get the nutrition. So these are the saprophytic. So mode, that is absorption from dead organisms. Next, it is the animals, those are heterotrophic and the ingestive. After this, he used the fourth criteria for the classification, and that criteria is the lifestyle. How is the lifestyle? First of all, here he used plants. They are producers. Okay, plants are producers, they are producing their own food. Animals are the consumers. Consumers means we are using the plant food for our living. Then afterwards, the fungi, they are depending on these are the decomposers. If any living organism die, it may be plant, it may be animal, then what happens? After some days, his body decomposes, and that work is done by fungi. So these are the decomposers. After that, the fifth criteria he used, it is the phylogenetic relationship, that is prokaryotics to eukaryotics and unicellular to the multicellular. For that purpose, here we see there is a flow chart. Here is a flow chart, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotics inside the unicellular, and unicellular animals are there, and unicellular inside the kingdom Monera. After that, eukaryotics inside unicellular animals are also there, and multicellulars are also there. And unicellulars, they are divided in they comes in the kingdom Protista, and multicellular animals comes in the kingdom three kingdoms, that is first fungi, plantae and the animalia. So the Robert Whitaker divide these living organisms into 5 groups, and these are Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and the animalia. Okay, so today we will stop here. After that, the remaining part of the lesson we will see in our next lecture. Thank you.